What's good, everybody? It is when I'm coming back at you on a video. So for this video here, I wanted to talk about becoming a conscious creator. Now, another word for conscious creator is deliberate creator. And what that means is, well, before we jump into that, we first need to understand, in order to understand becoming a conscious or deliberate creator, we first need to understand who we are and why we're here, right? First and foremost, who we are creators. The reason why we are creators is because we have the ability to use our imagination. We have the ability to think for ourselves and to decide for ourselves, right? We also have we operate our life from our own unique perspective and we have our own unique preferences. That's why no person is an exact copy or replica of another person, right? Everyone has their own preferences when it comes to food, when it comes to opinions, when it comes to hobbies, right? Things like that. And that's what makes each and every one of us different from one another. We are creators, of course, because we have our imagination and we have thoughts and we can think for ourselves and decide for ourselves. If, for example, we wanted to make a sandwich, right? And then in our minds, we think of the sandwich that we want to have, that we want to eat, right? And we go to our kitchen and proceed to make the sandwich and eat it. You've created that sandwich because you had it, the idea, the picture, the vision in your mind. And you went to your kitchen, you gathered the ingredients, you assembled it and made it to your liking. That's you creating, right? And that is the gift that you were given, the gift of creation. It's just most people either are not aware of that or may have forgotten or may have just needed reminders of who they truly are, right? And as creators, we've never enjoyed somebody thwarting our creation, right? We've never enjoyed being told what to do and having our own creative powers and juices to be dismissed by other people, right? We've never enjoyed that. That's what makes us feel bad when we want to do something and someone shuts down our idea or say, no, that's a bad idea, or no, you shouldn't do that, right? We begin to feel bad about that. So that is who we are, the essence of who we are as people. Now, for why we're here, the purpose of why we're here to experience outrageous joy. That's why we were born. That's why we were put on this earth, to experience outrageous joy. Not to be the richest person on the planet, not to accomplish XYZ. Those may be things that you want to experience in your lifetime because it will add to your joy. But those things are not needed for your joy, right? Like those things are not requirements for you. Your goal here is just to be outrageously happy, and you can find joy and happiness through anything, through any means, right? So you don't need to necessarily accomplish anything or do something or get things done to be happy. You can just be happy in your natural state, just even being surrounded by nature, right? You can feel as though you're one with everything around you, right? It's very possible. So that is who you are and why you're here. Now, when it comes to being a conscious creator or deliberate creator, right? It's understanding that you have the freedom to choose, right? You have the freedom to choose however you want to create your life, whichever direction you want to decide for your life. Becoming a conscious, deliberate creator is just moving towards better feeling thoughts. It's just moving towards things that make you feel good more often or more of the time. Because as you feel good more of the time, then you're fulfilling your purpose here in life. And if you're feeling good more of the time, then you're essentially attracting more good into your life. So it's a cycle in this life that makes sense, right? It's just someone who understands the purpose gets rewarded for understanding the purpose, right? Conscious creation is nothing more than just being aware of what you're thinking and how you're feeling to try your best to continue moving forward towards better feeling thoughts more of the time, right? So when there's people who are angry and They wake up angry and frustrated, and that's where they're normally at majority of the time. That that person wouldn't be considered a conscious creator because they're not consciously choosing better feeling thoughts in order to feel good more of the time, right? They're just letting the events of their lives dictate how they're feeling. That's someone who's creating by default, right? Or someone that, yeah, that just doesn't know what they're doing or what's going on, or someone that's giving their environment or their circumstances all of their power, as opposed to them maintaining their power and allowing that to dictate the outside world for them. That's the beauty of becoming a conscious creator, a deliberate creator. Being aware of how you're feeling and saying, you know what, I feel all right now, or I feel a little bored, or I feel, some sort of negative or neutral emotion, and I want to feel better, or I feel good, but I want to feel better. That's always the goal of a conscious creator. It's how can I think a better thought, or what activity can I do to help myself feel as good as possible more of the time. Ideally, you want to feel that all the time, right? Because the goal for you in this lifetime is to experience outrageous joy. So if you can experience outrageous joy every moment of the day for the rest of your life, then you've lived the most successful life in all of mankind, right? That is the goal of a deliberate creator. And it's interesting because when I came across that information, of course, it was easy for me to reflect on my own life and how I've been operating, and also see it in the lives of other people, right? And you can see how most people are oblivious to this, right? That most people are creators by default, that they'll let their circumstances and their outside world decide how they're feeling. And so when things come into their life, oh, sorry, hit the camera. So when things come into their life that are unwanted, they won't believe that they created it, because they say, if I had all the power to create everything in my life, I would only create the things that I want. But they were creating the entire time. They just weren't aware of what they're creating, or even aware of their true power to begin with. When people create by default, they're just letting whatever come their way into their life, and however they feel is however they feel. And so they're not fully aware of what they're vibrating and what they're attracting, right? They haven't pieced it together. Because I know from my life experiences, the times where I was super happy and felt really good, it felt like I was on a high. It felt like good things were just unfolding left and right. And the same for the opposite, right? On the opposite end of the spectrum, when it feels like things are going poorly, or feel like everything is crumbling down, that's when you starting to see a lot of undesirable things appear into your life as well. Most people create by default. Most people are not conscious creators or deliberate creators. Most people can be aware of how they're feeling, but they won't truly know the power of how they're feeling, right? Like someone can feel neutral or bored, and they may not want to feel that way, but they'll remain feeling that way. Or someone will be angry, and they'll just be angry all the time because they need a reason to no longer feel angry or to feel happy again. Those are people that are allowing the environment to dictate their life. That's someone that is creating by default. And the goal here is to help empower you, is to help make you a better person and bring out the best version of yourself. I want you to begin taking steps and developing towards becoming a conscious creator, a deliberate creator. That's you deciding that in this moment, say you're not feeling the best, right? Say, for example, you're frustrated. That's you acknowledging that and saying, you know what? I need to change that. And what can I do to change that, right? What thoughts can I think differently that can make me feel good about myself? Or can help just make me feel better? What activities can I do to help improve my mood? Right? Most people don't operate that way. Most people are either neutral or are bothered or annoyed to some degree. Very, very few people you see outside are ever smiling ear to ear, because most people are always operating that they have something to do and somewhere to be, which, of course, I understand, like, everyone has busy lives, but if you really, really pay attention and you go out and you just watch people, right? You look at their faces, because if you're happy, it's usually reflected in your face. Like, I'm sure people are happy, and some people are happy on the inside and don't necessarily show in their face. But for people who are very, very, very happy, you'll see it in their body language and on their face. You'll see them smiling. You'll see the excitement. And you can just look around and watch. And you'll quickly come to a realization that that's not the case for most people. That most people are not deliberate creators. They're not conscious creators because they're just unaware. And the purpose of this video and this channel is to help you become aware of who you are. So if you're smiling more often than not, if you're feeling good more often than not, then you will be attracting good events into your life more often than not. That means things will begin flowing into your life easily and effortlessly. And that's how you change the momentum. If you feel as though you've been if it's just been a bad luck streak for you, it could be because you've been vibrating negative emotions, and you need to begin changing that. Because you are energy, you are vibration. It's not my opinion. It's science. It's fact. It's proven. So I'm not here just giving you foo-foo, just making things up, pulling a rabbit out of a hat, right? Like, this is actual information, scientifically proven information. Most people are not walking around with a smile on their face. Most people are just neutral, or would much rather not want to be bothered. Very few people are happy or smiling all the time. So if that becomes your natural state, if every day you wake up and you're excited and you're eager and you're optimistic and you're smiling from every single day, you will stand out. Easily, you will stand out from the crowd. Easily. Because people want to be around you. People want to know what's going on in your life that has you smiling. Not knowing that you don't actually need to change anything in your life to be that happy. You can still decide, regardless of what's going on in your life, that you just want to be happy. And so you've agreed to do that. You can decide that for yourself. People will want to know why you're so happy all the time. People will want to get to know you and be your friend. People will want to surround themselves with you, because now you will have a magnetic personality. But more importantly, you will begin attracting good into your life. Good things will begin flowing into your life. And you won't know how, but you will just have to experience it yourself to see it for yourself. So that's the power of becoming a conscious creator, of becoming a deliberate creator. That's when you decide that you're going to consciously decide on the thoughts that you think, right? If a thought comes across your mind that is negative, that makes you feel bad, right? What can you do to change that to make yourself feel better, right? Rather than thinking of all the things that could go wrong, why not think about all the things that could go right? And for most people, that will be a challenge, because that's what most people are not accustomed to do. Most people are been trained or accustomed to think of all the reasons why something won't work out. Well, if you've done that your whole life and you're living a life where you're in a position where things aren't going so well, then why not change that? Why not begin switching that? Why not try something new? Because you don't know where it'll take you unless you try it, right? So becoming a conscious creator, becoming a deliberate creator that is reaching for and searching for better feeling thoughts, which better feeling thoughts would improve your emotions, right? How you're actually feeling. And so if you're feeling better more of the time, then you're attracting better more of the time, which means your life is improving over time. Everything's connected. And it all begins with your thoughts. So that's the power of becoming a deliberate creator, because that is how you can begin creating the life that you want, right? If you understand attraction power, that how you're feeling, how you're vibrating is what you're attracting into your life, then you would realize that the goal is always to feel good as often as you can, ideally all the time, so that what you're attracting in your life is good more of the time or all the time. And so then you'll be attracting and creating the life you've always wanted. Since most people are not conscious creators, deliberate creators, since most people are creating by default, then the life that they're living was created by default. You want to create the life that you want to live? Start taking ownership of your life. Start taking ownership of your thoughts and how you're feeling. Because once you begin taking ownership of yourself, it's when everything around you begins to change. So that wraps up the video. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like and subscribe, as I will be posting much more content very soon. So once again, guys, this is Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.